This is a Haag-Streit slit rod elevation. It's either a table or a platform or a lift. Not sure what the right name of it is, but it can get stiff and not moving up and down like it's supposed to. So there's some things you can do, maybe to take it apart and clean it. Tools you might need are some type of Allen wrench, flat blade screwdriver, some tweezers, sandpaper, some grease, and some cotton swabs. Okay, the hard part might be to loosen this nut, and that's where I use a Allen wrench. This is a 2.5 millimeter, and you put it right in the hole, and if it doesn't come off easily, you might have to use a screwdriver and hold that nut while you're turning it. Once you get it all the way off, you can take it out. You have a nut here, and this is what it looks like. So if you look underneath it, there's a little screw there that's holding the shaft mechanism assembly inside. So I've got to take that little screw out. And then we can pull this out. There's bearings. There's 2 rows of 6 bearings each. There's 2 rows of 6 bearings. And on top of here, there's another screw that holds the washer on top. Put your Allen back in and unscrew this little screw. It's a screw and a washer, beveled washer. And you have your bearings here. These are 2.5 millimeter bearings. If you lose any, that's the size. And then you have this shaft, and it can get pitted or grooves from where the bearing is riding up and down on it, the sets of bearings. So what you could do is clean that off and use some sandpaper on it. Try to get it smooth. Get your bearings out if they haven't fallen out already. And you have this brass bearing holder, and you try to clean that out with your cotton swab. Clean that as well as you can. And then inside of here, inside your table lift platform, want to try to clean in here. And there may be some grooves in here from where the bearings are going up and down in it. So you will need a half moon file that's got a round edge on it, and try to file those grooves to make them a little smoother. Take the edges off of them. Once you think you've gotten it pretty good, put some grease inside it. I use some number 2. It's a very thin grease. Put some grease on the shaft, a little bit of grease there. Make sure your bearing holder moves smoothly. It's time to put it together. You might even want to switch it from where it was. Put that on. Put your washer and screw back on. Make sure you have the beveled in on top so your screw will sink down into it. Put your Allen back in to hold it while you tighten it. And then when it's time to put the bearings in, you can go ahead and, first of all, slide it in and out, make sure it's sliding easily. Work with that until it's smooth. When it's time to put the bearings in, there's a little opening here. You can feed the top of it and just put a bearing in each slot. Turn it, put another bearing with your tweezers. Once you have your top row of bearings in, you can start putting in the bottom row. You could probably put 3 of them in without them falling out. And slide it in halfway, turn it up, and then you can put the other 3 in, just lifting up your bearing holder a little bit. For each one, turning it. Once you have those bearings in, you can push it all the way in, turn it around, see how if it's smooth, and then find the hole for your screw, your lock screw. Put your lock screw back in. After you get your lock screw in, test it. If you like it, put it back on your slit lamp. Hold it in. Put a flat edge on the nut. Start screwing it in. Use your Allen wrench to tighten it up the rest of the way. And then check it.